Hey everyone, my name is Ben Chaish, and today we are taking a look at the brand new 35 to 70 millimeter lens from Fujifilm for the GFX system. Now, right off the bat, the probably coolest thing about this whole thing is that if you buy the lens with the GFX 50S2, you're getting a medium format 28 to 55-ish zoom lens for $500. Which it's not like $500 is nothing, but that is a super good value. And I wanna give a special shout out to my friends at Moment. They are the ones that provided this camera for me for review, as well as obviously Fujifilm. And without both of them, I definitely wouldn't have access to this. So if you are interested in this camera or this lens, I will be putting links to both in the description down below, as well as probably like a pinned comment or something like that. So if you purchase anything through that link, I'll get a small kickback, as well as, Fuji and Moment will both see that my videos do some things to push the needle in one direction or the other. So anyway, do with that what you will. So obviously they've tried to kind of make this whole medium format GF system to be a lot more approachable. The body coming in at about $4,000, $39.99, and then the lens coming in the kit. So the kit combination together for an only extra $500 add-on at $44.99 is honestly like a super, super good value. I would say that the focal range of 35 to 70 is like just a little bit more kind of like vanilla than I would really want. Fujifilm already has a 32 to 64, but that lens is significantly more expensive, significantly bigger. And while this again is a little bit more vanilla, I wish it was a little bit wider like that lens, but 28 to about 55 is still the range that I actually personally shoot in all the time. For a travel lens, for a backup lens, for a kind of like studio lens, all that kind of stuff, I feel like it's actually a super good value and pairs really, really well with this camera. So I really love what Fuji is doing in kind of pairing this lens and camera together and making a kit that is much more affordable and approachable to the general, photography enthusiast. Now, one of the things that's obviously most interesting about this lens in particular is just that it has this little like extension that allows the lens to get really, really small. I mean, for a zoom lens that has that general, focal range on a medium format body, it is very, very lightweight. I don't know what exactly the weight, but it's definitely not going to be any sort of hindrance. You could definitely carry this around all day if you were traveling or something like that without any issues. And the ability for it to pack down into such a small area is brilliant. So to engage the lens, this is super unique. I've never used any lenses like this. You rotate it and it gives you a hard stop again right there, like a solid click. And then you're in that 30 to 70 range. And then you can see that the lens just kind of slowly rotates in and out. Honestly, I think it's a brilliant design to make a kit lens that is this small, and especially for the price point. Now, one of the things you're obviously sacrificing is, just things like you don't have an aperture ring. This lens goes from 4.5 to 5.6, whereas the other lens I'm pretty sure is a constant f4. But for someone like me, if I'm going out and photographing, let's say landscapes or something like that, or some travel stuff, I'm usually putting my lens at anywhere between f5.6 and f8 anyway, so. And then the other bonus with the GFX 100S and the new GFX 50S2, which if you haven't checked out my video on this, please give it a look as well. They both have very, very, very good in-body image stabilization, giving that slower aperture a little bit more breathing room in that you can just use the in-body image stabilization to shoot at slower shutter speeds. And that kind of gives you a lot more flexibility in low lights, in areas where if you don't have a tripod, because especially you're just using this as a kind of a walk around lens, works super good. So I think the other thing about this that was most, I guess, surprising to me at the price point as well is that it is weather resistant. So pairing this with the GFX, I believe all the GFX bodies are weather resistant as well. So just making sure that, you know, you have something like this that's gonna have these little gaskets and stuff like that to keep water out and everything like that, especially for a travel setup. You know, I'm thinking if I'm going to Europe or taking a trip to Iceland or Norway or something like that, having this just on the camera, being able to kind of survive some of the elements and make good landscapes in a pretty decent focal range would be super useful. Now, I think one of the areas where they are, I don't know if like cutting corners would be the thing, but I definitely got a lot of questions on some other videos that I've had about this, and sort of just figured I would mention it. The lens, well, most, if not all, Fujifilm lenses for the GF system that I know of are made in Japan. It does say made in the Philippines on the bottom of this. So if that matters to you, it does not matter to me at all. I just figured I would put that out there. To my knowledge, the GFX 50S2 is made in Japan. I believe it says it under here somewhere. So yep, made in Japan. So I think it was one of the ways that they could maybe do a little bit of cost saving there. But overall, this lens is great. It performs really well. It's definitely not the most exciting lens in the world if you are, you know, really into all this stuff, but having a lens that is affordable, has a good zoom range, and is also really small and lightweight to pair with this new body, and putting it at $500 in the kit is just brilliant, I feel like. So good on you, Fujifilm, for doing something that makes what I feel like a lot of sense, and I think is probably going to bring a lot more people into your system. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about this kit in general, please leave them in the comments below. I'll have this camera for another week or so, and if I'm being honest, I'm definitely considering making a purchase to get both the body and the lens. And if you are interested in doing the same, I will drop links below to the camera, to the kit, down in the description below, and probably like in a pinned comment. So thanks again, and I will see you on the next one.